Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to Primary Market Chatter brought to you by Sunday Invested. This is our December third week IPOs edition where we'll be talking about the companies which are coming in this week itself. And it's a rather light week, just two main boards and then some bunch of SMEs. None of which seem super hot or hyped for the lack of a better word. Doesn't mean that they are not good. It's just that there was no frenzy about any of the companies which are coming this week, which is strange. One of those rather lull weeks. But yeah, most of the conversation today will go into ICICI AMC. That's the one IPO which is coming. And then we'll also be talking about KSH International and Exim Routes. Before we actually get started, just want to highlight a couple of things. One, we are not SEBI registered. None of what we say is a qualified opinion. Please do not take anything on face value. We have our own biases. And please do your due diligence, your own study, or consult your financial advisor before applying or not applying to any issue. हम लोग से भी रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है. हम जो बोल रहे हैं उसका कोई औचित्य या सिग्निफिकेंस नहीं है. फॉर द लैक ऑफ अ बेटर वर्ड, इट्स जस्ट दैट व्हाट हम जो कर रहे हैं वो हम बताते हैं. दैट कैन बी राइट, दैट कैन बी रॉन्ग. वी हैव बीन रॉन्ग मल्टीपल टाइम्स इन द पास्ट. हम लोग काफी बार गलत भी होते हैं. सो just want to like set it stone with enough disclaimers. Second thing, if you haven't joined our YouTube channel, the link is in the pinned comments. ऊपर आपको पिन दिख रहा होगा यूट्यूब चैनल, वो आप जाके फॉलो कर सकते हैं. हमारा इंस्टाग्राम भी है, यू कैन गो ahead and do that as well. Other than that, this is the Twitter link which I use for all spaces now. So if you haven't followed Sunday Investing on Twitter, please go ahead and do that. We are at like 900 followers, I think. So today is a good day to make it 1,000. Small achievement. But yeah, with that, let me move forward and set up KSH International. Just talking about KSH, incorporated in 1979, company is the third largest manufacturer and largest exporter of magnet winding wires in India. It operates under the KSH brands and supplies to OEMs across industries like power, renewables, etc. So, magnet winding wires का third largest manufacturer है इंडिया में और largest exporter है. Interesting. In terms of the IPO, it's a 710 crores IPO, 710 crore का IPO है, out of which 420 crores fresh है, 290 crores का OFS भी कर रही है कंपनी. मार्केट कैप जिस पे कंपनी आ रही है वो 2601 2600 crores का है. FY25 फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करें तो 1938 crores का रेवेन्यू है एंड 68 crores का बॉटम लाइन है. सो 68 के बॉटम लाइन पे ये कंपनी लगभग 35 टाइम्स आ रही है. FY25, FY26 का देखते हैं. एंड देन देयर आर सम कंसर्न्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू कैपेसिटी वगैरह. विल ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट दे आर. एलएम की बात करें तो एलएम नुवामा और आईसीआईसीआई सिक्योरिटीज है. सो विद दैट, ओवर टू यू तन्मय टू क्विकली टॉक अबाउट केएसएच इंटरनेशनल.
Sure. So KSH International Limited is India's third largest manufacturer of magnet winding wires in terms of production capacity and also the largest exporter. So the business model is pretty clear. जो विद्या वायर्स आया था आपका 2 week पहले, the same is the business model of this. Vidya Wire was the fourth largest one in terms of revenue. This is third largest in terms of capacity. तो इसका revenue का exact क्या है वो ranking I am not having at this point, but I'll be sharing it in my final work date also. The company has products like paper insulated rectangular copper aluminum magnet winding wires, transposed conductors, rectangular enameled magnet winding wires, copper aluminum magnet winding wires. तो ये सारा segment में इनका business है. The company's products are one of the very core components or materials in capital goods like transformers, motors, alternators and generators. The company is also an approved supplier of insulated rectangular wires and CTC for certain companies. 765 kV के जो EHV ट्रांसफॉर्मर रिएक्टर्स है उसमें भी इनके वायर्स यूज होते हैं. The company has also got approvals for its products from government institution PSUs like Power Grid Corporation, NTPC, Nuclear Power Corporation, RDSO, and many other different institutions. The company also exports to 24 countries including the US, UAE, Kuwait, Romania, Germany, Bangladesh, Japan, etc. तो इनकी जो 3 फैसिलिटीज है तीनों महाराष्ट्र में, आउट ऑफ विच 2 आर इन पुणे, 1 इज इन रायगढ़, and they are building a 4th facility in Ahmednagar in Supa, which should commence its operations in September 2025, which has already been last week, last quarter इनका commencement हो चुका है. Talking on the IPO size, 710 crore ka raise, out of which 420 crore would be a fresh issue, 290 crores an offer for sale. In the fresh issue, the company has kept 226 crores towards repayment of debt. 86 crore का capex करना है इनको. उसमें से फिर इन्होंने दो चीजें रखी कि न्यू मशीनरी फॉर एक्सपांशन ऑफ सुपर प्लांट, एंड तो जो यूनिट 2 है इनका चाकन में, उसके अंदर में नई मशीनरी डालेंगे. एंड द थर्ड इज वन मोर केपेक्स फॉर फॉर पुटिंग अ सोलर रूफटॉप पावर प्लांट इन द न्यू फैसिलिटी, दैट इज फॉर 8-9 करोड़, और बाकी का जीसीपी है. कंपनी ने आई गेस कुछ 1.5% का इक्विटी डाइल्यूशन भी किया था. दैट वाज अनदर सेकेंडरी सेल व्हिच वाज एन अदर ओएफएस. Talking on the financials, FY23, the company did a revenue of 1,050 crores, 5%, 4.75% EBITDA margin, and 26.6 crore का PAT. 24 में company saw a revenue growth of 32% to 1,383 crores and a PAT of 37 crores, approx 5.25% का EBITDA margin था. Then the revenue grew by another 39% to 1,928 crores and the PAT grew to 68 crores, 6.35% का EBITDA growth था. अगर आप Q1 देखोगे तो 558 करोड़ का टॉप लाइन के, दे हैवंट गिवन quarter Q1 comparison. So the EBITDA shot up from 6.35 to 7.21 and PAT to 4%. So Q1 of FY26 में around 22.7 crores का profit किया है. So if you just analyze this numbers, because seasonality इनका बहुत limited होता है, 5% here and there is a seasonality, तो still they should do like somewhat around 2,100 to 2,200 crore, which should be like 10 to 15% kind of a growth. और PAT होना चाहिए somewhat around 90-95 crores. By the way, the capex has went live, maybe that should contribute to another growth. So still we can see somewhat around 95 to 100 crores का PAT in 26. उसके बाद, so on the valuation front, it is priced at somewhat around, I guess, 25 times P, 25-26 times P, FY26. So ठीक ही valuation है. इसके अंदर concerns क्या क्या है? First is the competition. Lot of capex is happening in this segment. If you just look at someone like a Ram Ratna Wires or someone like Precision Wires, even the Vidya Wires which got listed last 2 weeks, 2 weeks back, all are doing very strong capex. Everyone is doubling the capacity. Even this company, I guess, not doubling but almost like close to 1.5, 60-70% kind of a capex. तो द थिंग इज कि जो इनका भी 30-40% ग्रोथ आ रहा था, that should come down to 10-15% from like FY27, 26 में भी शायद 15-17%, 18% दे दे, but from 27 it should be normalized because इनका बेस बड़ा हो जाएगा. 2,000 करोड़ के 2,200 करोड़ के बेस पे इवन 15% ग्रोथ इज वेरी ग्रेट. तो and also the sector has seen lot of derating in terms of multiples. The precision wire for that example, for that matter, even after doing so well, the valuations are not that great for the company. इसके अंदर और एक concern ये भी है कि the 60% revenue come from their Sakan facility, which it doesn't have a production facility approval, and they are yet to file that. Matlab, if let's say government comes and says कि you cannot produce, so the company cannot do anything. So that's a serious risk. वो एक है, but I feel they should given the size of the company, it should get sorted, but we cannot take it granted. That is a serious risk. Again, इनका कैश फ्लो वाज नॉट दैट ग्रेट, मतलब जितना लगना चाहिए. इवन OCF फ्रॉम FY25 वाज एट -10 crores. So I felt कि यार OCF तो मे बी फॉर द केपेक्स दे आर इन्वेस्टिंग, बट ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो तो पॉजिटिव होना चाहिए था. दिस वन थिंग. Another, not talking on the 26 numbers, even if you consider like somewhat around a 15% to 20% growth, 20 should be on higher side. I don't expect 20. Even on a 2,200 crore base, 15 should be somewhat around like 26 ka top line, and that debt repayment should bring in like 20 crore kind of a saving. So it should be a 130-140 crore kind of a PAT for 27. So even if I consider like 140 as a neutral case, it is coming at 20 times 27. And this is exactly where, all peers are getting valued. Your Vidyat came at like 18 times 27. Now it is trading at like somewhat around 5% discount from IPO price. So it is at somewhat around 17 times to 18 times 27. This company is coming at 20 times. like what good in this company is the size of operations is quite great. The customer relationships are good. The customers are also good. Very fine institution companies are their customers. But also there are different risks कि OCF इतना healthy नहीं है. This segment should see some consolidation of growth. And also when the supply for each company is twice, there is always some margin pressure. When the company makes 5% PAT, आपका margin pressure आए तो बचेगा क्या आपका आपका return on capital employed निकलेगा क्या? So that is the thing. So I look this company की listing in तो मेरे को इसमें मुश्किल लगता है. Even if there are some, it should be very minimal. And for the long term also, I am not very optimistic. Reason being, यार मुझे नहीं लगता 6 महीने बाद इस सेक्टर में ज्यादा फ्रेंजी बचेगी. So, but I feel कि in the medium term, like short to medium term, 1 to 3 months, we can see some, 10-20% here and there, but, that doesn't excite me much. So, I'm very neutral on this company. It is not a bad company, but, I feel कि this अगर ये IPO से 6 महीने पहले आता तो शायद it could have been more lucrative. At this point, I don't see the positioning of this segment very accretive, at least for valuation and investors point of view. So I'm very neutral on this company. Don't not expecting much on listing and not expecting much in the longer term, but in the short to medium term, it might give some kind of a reward. Which should be like 10-20% or slightly here and there. So this is overall on KSH.
Got it. Thanks, Tanmay. मैं देख रहा था इसकी एंकर बुक अच्छी आई थी यार. I kind of like the anchor book. I saw HDFC Manufacturing was there with like 20% share, and then Kotak had also taken like 20-25%. Right?
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
So
Yes.
like मैंने जब कंपनी पढ़ी थी तो मेरे को बहुत ही एवरेज लगी थी for the lack of a better term, but the anchor book made me slightly.
नहीं एक्चुअली यार एंकर बुक में तो तीन ही तो अच्छे नाम है, कोटक, एचडीएफसी, मलबार. बाकी सब तो टाइम पास ही है. सो
But they have taken such
देयर
a
इज अ
big chunk,
सेकंड.
right? Like Kotak, HDFC I saw had taken 20%. Kotak had taken like
करेक्ट.
30%, 35%. So 55 तो वही हो
इवन
गया ना.
कोटक वाज देयर इन द प्री आईपीओ आल्सो. हाँ.
And then like Malabar has taken 6. So 50-55% is with them. Which is like company छोटी है ना, मतलब 2600 crore MCAP की company. So for that, like slightly better names than what I would have expected. So that gives me some confidence. Plus also honestly, there's no other IPO which is clashing with this, right? So even if it gets some kind of a pop, people will apply
हाँ
simply because
मतलब
the funds are
see,
there.
मेरा इसमें ना आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि दिस कैन नॉट गिव, बट मेरा ये बोलना है कि इससे बहुत ज्यादा उम्मीद मत रखो. इफ इट शुड गिव समथिंग. आई एम नॉट सेइंग
Hmm.
इट विल लिटरली फ्लैट, बट इससे ज्यादा उम्मीदें नहीं रख रहा. इज व्हाट माय बॉटम लाइन वाज.
Got
इट्स
it.
अ फाइन कंपनी, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, बट नॉट दैट कि मैं खुद के लगा दूं एकदम
Got it.
5-10 बीघे चना,
Got it.
ये नहीं है.
And
हाँ.
it's slated to do like 90-95 this year, right? So it's coming at like 28 times 26 FY26, right?
हाँ हाँ हाँ. एंड यार लाइक वी आर वैल्यूइंग इट ऑन 27 की भाई 20 टाइम 27 पे आ रहा है. बट आई एम सेइंग दिस अगेन कि 6 महीने बाद व्हेन द कैपेसिटीज ऑफ ऑल दिस कंपनीज द डबल एंड ट्रिपल कैपेसिटी आर गोइंग लाइव, देयर इज गोइंग टू बी प्राइसिंग वॉर, देयर इज गोइंग टू बी कंसोलिडेशन ऑफ ग्रोथ. तो उस टाइम इनके मल्टीपल सस्टेन ही नहीं होंगे.
हाँ, multiples अभी नहीं हो रहे, right? Like the multiples have been waiting.
हाँ अभी
हाँ.
इवन यू लुक एट प्रेसिजन, राम रत्ना, वेरी वेरी एक्सट्रीमली फाइन कंपनीज, बट द स्टॉक इज डूइंग वेल. वो 2023-24 का फ्रेंजी रहा नहीं इनमें.
Got it. इसका पीयर कौन राम रत्न होगा? Where is it trading?
Ramratna Precision, last week ka Vidya Wire,
Where are
all
they
are
trading?
trading at 15 to 17 times 27 P. This is coming at 20 times, मतलब almost similar.
थोड़ा महंगा ही
And I
है.
guess Precision is trading at 18 times 27, Ramratna at somewhere around 21-22 times, Vidya is trading at 17-18 times, so all are in the same range. तो इसमें बचा क्या फिर, ये आ ही रहा है 20 के आसपास.
Got it. I'm just trying to pull up. And how big is the company? Ram Ratna?
रामरत्ना तो सेकंड लार्जेस्ट प्रेसिजन है, ये थर्ड है, विद्या फोर्थ है.
So yeah, that's with respect to KSH International. Let's see how it evolves again when the single IPO. There's not a lot, so maybe this is the option we'll go to. Let's see when it comes. But yeah, with that, let's move forward and talk about the second company very quickly. The second company we'll be talking about is Exim Routes. Setting up Exim Routes, which is a SME, before we actually go ahead and talk about ICICI. Incorporated in 2019, company is a global platform that facilitates exchange of recyclable paper materials, offering end-to-end services to paper mills from sourcing waste paper to quality assurance and logistics. एट अ हाई लेवल तो मेरे को पेपर का सोर्स करके डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर लगा. मेरे को समझना पड़ेगा लाइक फ्रॉम सचिन व्हाट इज द हाइप विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द कंपनी. बट या सेटिंग अप द आईपीओ It's a 43 crore IPO, 44 crore, all of which is a fresh issue. Objects भी थोड़े से loose थे. We'll talk about them. Market cap 165 crores है. And then FY25 financials is 121 crores. PAT is 7.6 CR. So 7.6 CR around 22 times FY25 पे आ रही है. LM Nanolia Financial Services है. So with that, over to you, Sachin, to talk about Exim Routes.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this Exim Routes, as you mentioned that not a while ago on my that they came into business. Only in 2019 they have come in, and what they primarily do is they focus on this recycled paper, waste paper हो गया, different types के paper हो गए, various qualities, and then they facilitate both buy and sell. So which is their primary principal trading activity, and in that they are also using this technology as well. So उसमें भी वो technology भी use कर रहे हैं. And like given that they all of their promoters which are handling this business, so some of them are coming from IT Roorkee, which are paper and these for polymer engineers, and they are also saying that the other employees that are currently in role, those are from IIT as well. So around 18 to 20 employees they have, which look after all these operations. Now what they are saying is, जो उनका एक ये platform है, which are they trying to develop, and they say that we have already developed it, ERIS, ERIS, which is Exim Research and Intelligence Services. So in that they are saying that what we are connecting all these paper mills from global paper manufacturers and big MNCs from various countries, around 15 to 20 countries. We are connecting all of them into one single platform where all of the buyers and sellers can look at real-time codes. They can check the quantities, they can check the paper quality, and after that, after placing the orders, in some cases Exim is able to manage all the services for these clients, be it logistics, be it paper handling, be it container handling, etc. The quotation part and the onboarding the client part, that is taken by the technology, which they are saying that we have also incorporated some AI intensive features in that technology as well, where there is real time matching between the buyers and sellers. So जैसा एक बिड जैसा एक सिस्टम इन लोगों ने बना के रखा है. For now this is a closed marketplace, so only registered players can come in, and going ahead they will try to incorporate more players into this as and when the scale is visible. So the ARIS services which they are saying that we are developing, that is around 2 to 3% of the revenues only. If we just go by the names by how the nomenclature for the revenues is given in the RHP, and around 97 to 98 is mentioned as trading revenues. So that was for this FY25. In trading they source various grades of paper, white grade, paper grade, office paper, tissue papers, एंड दिस ये जो अमेजोन और उन सब के जो बॉक्सेस के लिए पेपर चाहिए ब्लिंकिट वगैरह के लिए, तो कोरिगेटेड बॉक्सेस हो गए, ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ पेपर दे सेल. And for that also they are saying that we do not generally involve these intermediaries. So वहाँ पे they are trying to capture more margins in their traditional trading business as well. They also have subsidiaries in various countries, Germany, USA, UK, South Africa as well. One in Singapore as well. So all of these combined, this is the total Exim group that is operating in this paper business. These subsidiaries, and they are contributing around 85 to 86% of their total revenues, whereas the rest is coming from this standalone revenues of Exim India entity. Now coming to their financials, in FY23 they did 37 CR of revenues, but the EBITDA was low, around 2 to 3% only, which is their traditional trading business. In FY24, when they got more subsidiaries in from Singapore, South Africa, etc., then the revenues jumped to 72 CR with around 8 to 9% EBITDA and around 6% PAT, which they say is primarily due to more volumes. We did more volumes month on month, as well as the subsidiaries got integrated, and we were able to do much higher business. In FY25, they got better scale, where more clients came in onto their platform as well. So they did 120 CR revenues with similar margins. Till September of this FY26, they say that we have done 44 CR of revenues, and the margins are down if you look on a half year trend, but they're saying we will like to maintain the similar margins, and going forward we would invest all of the money that we receive from IPO and some internal accruals primarily into this capability to this Aries platform, to improve the platform, to get more data into it so that the machine learning capabilities can predict those buy and sell quotes that are visible to the players that are on the platform. एंड लाइक वो प्लेटफॉर्म मोर प्रिडिक्टिव एक टाइप का एनालिसिस कर पाए कि व्हेन द बायर नीड्स द सप्लाई, व्हेन द सप्लायर नीड्स टू कॉन्टैक्ट द बायर, लाइक दिस. नाउ दीज वर सम ऑफ द पॉजिटिव्स ऑफ द बिजनेस. फॉर द नेगेटिव साइड, वी ऑलरेडी नो दैट कि बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स ऑलरेडी हैं इस मार्केट में. सो जो ट्रेडिशनल पेपर हाउसेस और बीट एमएनसीज लाइक आईटीसी एंड बिग पेपर मैन्युफैक्चरर्स, आंध्रा पेपर मिल्स हो गया, आईटीसी हो गया, एंड दिस वेस्ट कोस्ट पेपर एक्सेट्रा. So उनके already setups and tie-ups are present from years and years. So to break that just in a go would be very difficult for this Exim or be it any other player that might come in. Also I saw that despite being a closed marketplace, इनका जो app है, which they are saying we are also developing a mobile platform. So that app got recently published on the Apple App Store, and I could not find any hint of this Exim app on the Play Store yet. So that looked out to me. So despite all of the tech that they are talking, the app went live on the market store recently only. इसमें वो they didn't mention why was this, but that is one observation I noted. And now coming to the IPO funds, around 12 CR is for this developing of this Aries platform only, and 9 CR is for working capital, and 7 CR is for this renovating of their office. They are saying that we will get new office, getting more clients to showcase our business. Now, given the IPO price for as per FY25, it's around 22 times trailing, and working capital projections are for the standalone business. So if we combine that, what the subsidiaries are doing year on year from FY22 to FY25, it should probably on forward basis be around 14-15 times or maybe less than that, but in that 13 to 16 times range. Also, there was pre-IPO in this company in January of this year, I think. That was around 77 rupees per share, and this is coming at around 88 per share now. Some HNIs were in that pre-IPO. Lead manager here is Nolia. So okay to decent record, not very bad. Anchor list had some names like Pine Oak Fund, Saint Fund, one PSB Alpha Fund was there. One Eminence Fund was also there. So coming to the final thing, I think that if this is viewed as a plain trading business, which is what their primary revenues is showing, so that will definitely get a low valuation. But what they are getting margins on the net level, so that does make that does ensure that some value addition they are doing, because the margins are around 5 to 6% on net, which they are also saying we would like to maintain the similar margins. So some tech thing is definitely coming in the value addition. Not so much as they are advertising for their platform yet, but the scale is visible, and they are also onboarding more clients. So stickiness भी बढ़ रहा है धीरे धीरे, but not exactly just a huge amount in one go. Also, they were part of this recent PaperX exhibition, which happened recently only. So there they received some inquiries from big MNCs like ITC etc. to showcase their platform etc. So if that works out, then this is likely to get scale. No peers, because this is literally a marketplace for this paper stuff. So how market values is a bit difficult to say, but let's see. Yet not decided to apply or not personally. So that's about Exim.
Got it. यार एक क्वेश्चन है मेरा फंडामेंटल, व्हाट इज द बिजनेस मॉडल? ये पेपर क्यों चाहिए पेपर मिल को रिसाइकल बाहर से? लाइक इंडिया में क्यों नहीं मिल सकता? लाइक बाहर से क्या मॉडल क्या है ये?
क्योंकि इंडिया में रिसाइकलिंग का वो सेटअप ही नहीं है कि आप पेपर मिल को उतना, मतलब जो भी इंडिया की पेपर डिमांड है, तो उसमें इंडिया में रिसाइकलिंग पेपर का उतना वो सेटअप ही नहीं है कि आप पेपर को रिसाइकल कर पाओ और फिर उनको प्रोसेस में यूज कर पाओ. वो इंडिया में सेटअप नहीं है. सो फॉर दैट रीजन दे हैव मोस्ट ऑफ द जो सप्लाई है पेपर, रिसाइकल्ड पेपर की, वो बाहर से इंपोर्ट करनी पड़ती है, बिकॉज फॉर एवरीथिंग यू कैन नॉट यूज द फ्रेश पेपर्स, राइट? आप इतने ट्रीज और इतने वो सब कट नहीं कर सकते कि आप पूरे हर चीज के लिए फ्रेश पेपर यूज कर सकें. And with this new quick.com thing,
तो ये बस रिसाइकल्ड पेपर बना बनाया आता है, उसको खरीदते हैं और बेच
हाँ
देते हैं पेपर मिल को।
हाँ
पेपर मिल क्या करता है फिर?
बेचते हैं। ये उनका मेन बिजनेस है जो उनका ट्रेडिशनल चला आ रहा है। अब ये उसको क्या कर रहे हैं कि दे आर गेटिंग इन ऑल ऑफ दिस ऑन टू अ प्लेटफॉर्म वेयर जो भी सप्लायर के टाइप्स उन्होंने ग्लोबली बनाए हैं उनको वो प्लेटफॉर्म पे लाएंगे। दे हैव कनेक्शंस विद इंडियन मिल्स या जो भी बायर्स हैं डिफरेंट कंट्रीज में, उनको वो प्लेटफॉर्म पे लाएंगे। एंड विद ऑल ऑफ दीज 3 प्लेयर्स इन द प्लेटफॉर्म, they are giving a what you can say independent view to the platform, like बीच में कौन कितना मार्जिन ले रहा है, all of it is known on the platform, be it the buyer, be it the seller, or be it the intermediary which is examined this route. And for setting up this platform for both of these players, they are charging likely fees for the platform fees and all of the services they are providing. This is one thing. अब इसमें वो कभी कभी कहते हैं कि for some clients we also offer this logistic services हो गया, या कंटेनर को पोर्ट से ले जाना है, इधर उधर करना है, तो वो सर्विसेज भी वो प्रोवाइड करते हैं फॉर सम क्लाइंट्स। नॉट वेरी मेजर बट दैट इज वन पोर्शन ऑफ द रेवेन्यूज, मिनिमल वेरी नाउ, मिनिमल फॉर नाउ। हेलो,
गॉट इट। सो मेरा अभी भी एक ही क्वेश्चन है कि ये करता क्या है, मतलब पेपर मिल वाला क्या करेगा? वो तो लाइक बिजनेस मॉडल नहीं समझ में आया मुझे अभी भी। तो
बिजनेस,
पेपर मिल वाला इंपोर्ट इससे लेगा कागज, फिर?
हाँ पेपर मिल वाले इससे कागज लेगा, फिर वो अपने जो भी ऑपरेशंस में पेपर को यूज करता है, वो बैग्स बनाता है, पेपर बैग्स बनाता है, या वो कार्डबोर्ड बॉक्सेस बनाता
अच्छा
है, तो उन सब के लिए
अच्छा, समझ गया। तो
साइकिल
जहां पे भी
पेपर।
रिसाइकल पेपर यूज करेगा वो है ये। तो ये तो बेसिकली फिर इसकी कुछ वैल्यू एडिशन नहीं है बीच में, ये तो पेपर खरीद के इसको कनेक्ट कर देता है। तो एक बार दो कनेक्ट हो गए तो फिर इसका क्या काम है?
तो वैल्यू एडिशन अगर नहीं होती तो प्रॉब्ली इनके मार्जिन 1 to 2% और होते, और टर्नओवर वुड बी मच हायर, बट वो केस नहीं है, तो मार्जिन आर 5 to 6%। सो वो वैल्यू,
मैं ऐड करूँ क्या?
हाँ डेफिनेटली डेफिनेटली।
मैं बताता हूँ जो मैं मिल चुका हूँ प्रमोटर साहब से। तो
ओके।
ये क्या करते हैं, लेट्स से देयर इज लाइक डिफरेंट पेपर मिल्स हु वांटेड। सो ये ना स्क्रैप पेपर में मोस्टली काम करते हैं, जो आपका दुबई वुबई साइड मिलता है, मिडिल ईस्ट मिलता है, अफ्रीका मिलता है। तो इनकी बिडिंग होती है ये पेपर मिल्स की। तो लेट्स से 3000 रुपीज टन में एग्जाम्पल दे रहा हूँ, 3200 रुपए जिसने ज्यादा बिड किया उसके ऊपर चला जाता है, और ये बीच में प्लेटफॉर्म फी चार्ज करते हैं। ऑल्सो आई फील दे चार्ज सम परसेंटेज ऑफ द होल ट्रांजेक्शन। तो ये बिडिंग प्रोसीजर है। ओके, सो स्टैंड अलोन प्लेयर इफ द डायरेक्ट कॉन्टैक्ट, उनका जो रियलाइजेशन होता है वो हिट होता है। सो फॉर दैट रीजन मतलब सम और हाउ देयर इज सम बैरियर, ये एक बात है।
एंड वो उन क्लाइंट्स को प्लेटफॉर्म पे लेके आए हैं, एंड द क्लाइंट्स आर स्टिकिंग, सो डेफिनेटली द क्लाइंट्स आर एबल टू रेजोनेट
And इसमें
प्लेटफॉर्म।
दो तीन और क्या चीज होता है, ये जो बिडर्स होते हैं, दे हैव टू सप्लाई टू सम अदर प्लेस एंड दे हैव कमिटेड।
या
तो व्हेन दे themselves cannot supply, and they are bound to put in that honor that contract. So by any chance they have to just bring in that paper so that they can recycle and make their own paper. कई बार रॉ मटेरियल अवेलेबिलिटी का दिक्कत होता है, तो स्क्रैप पेपर आता है, उसको रिसाइकल करता है, नए पेपर में कन्वर्ट करता है ये जो बिडर्स होते हैं, आफ्टर विनिंग दैट set off the whole bid, and then they convert into the new paper and then supply to the consignee. So this is how is the business model. So technically ऐसा what IEX just for power, this is paper का IEX, like
या
bottom line if I want to tell.
Yeah, understood. Thank you. That is with respect to exam routes. मैं को अभी भी मॉडल तो नहीं समझा. And from what I was reading, again, I have read just one review online. The objects of the issue seem pretty loose as well, so which did give a lot of confidence. लाइक वो कुछ तो ऑफिस स्पेस खोल रहे हैं, सैलरी देंगे लोगों को उस ऑफिस में वगैरह, तो सीम लाइक अ लूज रेस. एंड लेट्स सी, आई वुड see the demand, but I am not super pumped up on this issue. One more thing, इसमें pre-IPO भी है, right? There's some pre-IPO in this as well.
या इन जनवरी ऑफ दिस ईयर अराउंड 77 रुपीज पर शेयर HNIs पर प्राइमरली, और कुछ फंड्स भी होंगे शायद।
Got it.
राजस्थान
And
ग्लोबल वगैरह है ना इसके प्रीआईपीओ में।
हाँ वो ललित दुआ है शायद, ललित दुआ है।
हाँ हाँ, वो खुद भी है।
got it. Let's see. I somehow still like, I'll read more about the business model to make a point of view. Like, I'm somehow still difficult to like get my head around margins. I understand margin है तो कुछ value add कर रहा होगा, but need to understand कि क्या value add कर रहा है जिसकी वजह से margin है. So let's see. With that, maybe in the interest of time, let me move forward. तीसरी कंपनी की बात करते हैं. Third company we'll be talking about is ICICI Prudential Asset Management Company, ICICI AMC, as you will call it. And most of us are here to know about the company. Setting it up in corporate 1993, the company is a AMC Asset Management Company. The company provides portfolio management services, alternate investment fund, and advisory services as well. It has a AUM of 10,147 billion rupees. अभी एक बार नंबर मेरे को समझाना कितना है, नहीं मेरे को समझ नहीं आया एग्जैक्टली,
दस
बट
पॉइंट सात लाख करोड़
समझते हैं, बाद में आते हैं. हाँ, इस पे, क्योंकि मेरे को उस हिसाब से, बिकॉज आई अंडरस्टैंड, इनको वैल्यू करने के लिए इनका एक परसेंटेज ऑफ एएमसी इनको वैल्यू मिलता है, जितना एसेट मैनेज करते हैं. AUM का एक परसेंटेज. So we'll talk about it, but in terms of the IPO, it's a 10,600 crore IPO, all of which is a OFS. पूरा OFS है, none of this is fresh issue. But company doesn't need fresh, right? Like 50% PAT margin पे company operate कर रही है. Very, very healthy business growing. As you know, DIA is putting in more money because SIP flow is happening. So this is a direct beneficiary of that. AMC है, market cap 1 लाख करोड़, 1,07,000 करोड़, और भी 107,007 करोड़ पे कंपनी आ रही है. सो 10% का डाइल्यूशन है. FY25 फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करो तो रेवेन्यू 5,000 करोड़ था एंड पैट 2,650 करोड़ था. FY26 का फर्स्ट हाफ वाज स्लाइटली बेटर, आई थिंक. तन्मय वुड कवर इट. इन टर्म्स ऑफ द LM तो काफी सारे, सिटी है, मोगन स्टेनली है, बोफा है, एक्सिस है, CLSA है, IIFL है, कोटक है, नोमुरा है, SBI है. So with that, over to you, Tanmay, to talk about.
मेरा आवाज आ रहा है ठीक से? बिकॉज यार एक्चुअली आई एम
Yeah,
ऑन अ हाईवे एंड आई डोंट नो द नेटवर्क इज.
go ahead.
So ICICI Prudential AMC is India's largest asset management company in terms of active mutual fund QAAUM. So it is a quarterly average assets under management with a market share of 13.3% as of September 30 Q2 FY26. Company's total QAAUM was 10.2 lakh crore for equity and total 10.7 lakh crores book. The company is also the largest asset management company in terms of equity and equity-focused quarterly AUM with a market share of 13.6%. And also in terms of equity-oriented hybrid schemes, it is largest in the country. And obviously, we all know hybrid schemes at this point are working very fine. And ICICI Prudential has got somewhat around a 50% market share in this segment. The company has got a pan-India distribution network, which has 272 offices across 23 states and 4 union territories. The company also manages the largest number of schemes in the mutual fund industry, with 143 schemes comprising 44 equity and equity-oriented schemes, 20 debt schemes, 61 passive schemes, 15 domestic fund of fund schemes, one liquid scheme and one overnight scheme and one arbitrage scheme. So, fairly diversified scheme portfolio inka. Um, Also, the company caters to 1.5 crore mutual fund holders, which is like total India में mutual fund investors are somewhat around 5 crores, out of which 1.5 इसके पास है. So like many overlap because they have some other funds also. But in terms of standalone market share, somewhat around 25 to 30% of India's mutual fund investors own at least a policy of ICICI Prudential AMC. Uh, अभी अगर आप इनका हाईएस्ट इंडिविजुअल मंथली AUM देखोगे तो दैट हैज आल्सो गॉट 13.7% मार्केट शेयर. The company is also the most profitable asset management company in terms of operating profit before tax with a market share of 20% for FY25. If you just look at ROE, it is 87%, which is very insane. Talking on the IPO size, the company is raising 10,603 crores, so a large, pretty big IPO at a valuation of 1,07,007 crores. Completely an offer for sale. The stake sale is done by Prudential UK, which is the JV partner of ICICI Bank for ICICI Prudential AMC. The company also did a 4,000 300 crore ka secondary raise, which saw very good names coming in, like late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala family office. You look at Madhu Kela family office, Manish Chokhani family office, Lunate Capital, Lunate Asset Management, which is a very large sovereign UAE-based fund, which had invested the first time any investment is done in India. Azim Premji Trust, you have seen White Oak, you have seen HCL, you have seen DSP, Malabar, Hero Group, Chris Capital, Jupiter Trust, Time, your Team Holdings. Then we have seen Go Digit. Then we have seen Mahalakshmi Trust, Kedara Capital. So there are a lot of names, which invested in their secondary placement. Talking on the financials, the company did a revenue of 2837 crores as of FY23, with an EBITDA of 2072 crores, which was, like somewhat around, कितना हो गया? I'll just do the calculation. Somewhat around 73% kind of an EBITDA, and a PAT of 1,516 crores, which is also a very healthy operating metric, somewhat around 53-54% kind of a PAT margin. FY24 saw a rise of 32% in the revenue to 3,758 crores, and PAT growing to 2,050 crores. FY25 saw another 32% jump to 4,977 crores and a PAT of 2,650 crores. In the H1, the company saw 20% kind of a top line growth to 2,950 crores and a PAT of 1,618 crores. So if you just extrapolate the numbers, somewhat around 3,350 to 3,400 crore kind of a PAT आना चाहिए for the whole year. So on that, it is valued at like somewhat around कितना हो गया 28 to 30 का P. If I just do the exact maths, it is at somewhat around 31.5 का P. ठीक है, on FY26. I'm talking on the P. And if you just look at the operating PAT, it would look like somewhat around कितना आएगा somewhat around 25, 23, 24 times of operating PAT, which is like somewhat around 15% discount to your HDFC mutual fund. अभी अगर इसका ना थोड़ा समझे, सो ICICI Prudential is India's classic beneficiary of the rising and the changing behavior of our individuals, especially towards savings and the mutual fund. Very healthy portfolio. Most of the schemes are matching the industry returns or beating them. Very high corporate governance. The schemes have been very great. The hybrid AUM has growing very great. You have seen, a lot of developments happening within the organization, which have, brought in some very innovative and great products. So this is your classic compounding story. If you just look at the anchor book was pretty good. There are many small things to see. If you just spoke on some kind of data points, I'll just read it out. The alternatives, which is a very high margin business. If you just look at the key operational metrics of this, the alternative AUM was 638 crores, which is now growing at somewhat around 30-40% CAGR, which is your very high margin business. Then the systematic transactions, just look at there at 48 billion. So ROE, if you look at their 86-87% annualized FY26 ROE. So overall, it's a very good company, very strong by fundamentals, and if you just look at some of its peers, all trade at their X40 kind of a P. On FY25, it looks at 39-40 ka P. If you just look at the operating metrics, the growth, and then the 26-27 ka numbers, you easily find ki, the company has kept like 15 to 20% scope for the very immediate term, and like what many of us know ki the IPOs are there expected at 1,20,000 crore valuation. It has came to 1,07,000. To jo 13,000 ka 18% ka gap hai, that is a sheer arbitrage. Because even at 120 there was ample demand, is what I know. So from my end, it's a blind apply. Undoubtedly, it's an apply. मतलब वही है, हर account से apply लगाना है. Blind apply from my end. I see 15 to 20% immediate upside and like somewhat around a 20% compounding for next 5 years is what I feel. And like I've got no doubts to apply this or not. Let's just here apply from my end. There are few things like ICICI Group का कोई company आज तक पैसा बना के नहीं दिया है. Everyone looks at the history, but if you just look at pricing of those IPOs in those days, they were like extremely expensive. I don't find ICICI Prudential very expensive. I actually find it attractive, because that this company, if you just talk in the Hindi, ये mutual fund इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा गुंडा है, and that company at this valuation is very reasonable. तो I would be surely applying for listing gains and medium तक अगर लगा थोड़ा स्क्रीन ठीक रही तो शायद थोड़ा सा रख भी लेंगे पोस्ट लिस्टिंग, बिकॉज व्हाट आई फील इज कि ये जो गैप है somewhat around 20-25% का है, बड़ा शॉर्ट टर्म में आ जाना चाहिए. सो आफ्टर दैट इट वुड बी अ शेयर कंपाउंडिंग स्टोरी. सो टू कीप इट बियॉन्ड लिस्टिंग मैं उसको बाद में वैल्यूएट करूंगा, बट आई एम श्योरली गोइंग टू अप्लाई. फंटास्टिक कंपनी, गुड मैनेजमेंट, portfolio of these funds are doing well, the schemes are doing well, the market leadership is insane. 20% operating profit market share for any company in any segment is very great when you have peers like SGFC, SBI, UTI, Nippon, and still if you are doing that much, it is commendable. Anchor book was very strong, so I had to be surely applying in ICICI Prudential AMC.
Got it. Thanks, Tanmay. Very strong anchor book, and I feel this is one of those stocks where अगर कोई किसी FII को इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट करना है, so this would be a good stock to invest in, because this is a proxy to the whole India story and how middle class is earning, people are saving more, people are investing more in equity. So this is a proxy to that. So, and that was visible in the anchor book as well, which was a very good thing. Like fundamentally, this is a very strong story. Like this can be compared to probably, let's say, Exchange, NSC when that comes. Like that would be super hot. But this will also be in the same territory. मेरा question जो ये है कि I know where is it priced compared to HDFC? I know HDFC is also a super strong name in AMC, right? So where is it priced compared to uh, HDFC? Because that will in a way determine where this is going to be priced by the market as well, right? Because it's a super established industry, nothing's new per se. So, and like, do you think they should get a premium to HDFC in any way or a discount to HDFC in any way?
Okay,
I
so
know I was talking to Rohit this morning, and he said that this has slightly better product mix compared to HDFC.
correct.
Can you if you can broaden on that point, that would be helpful.
So I'll be breaking down in the three different pointers. First is an exact comparison on valuation basis before taking anything qualitative, in consideration. So HDFC at this point I feel is at 35 to 35 and a half times P FY26. ठीक है, all these are numbers taken from the various brokerages and सबका average उतना ही निकल रहा है approx. This is coming at 31.4 times FY26 PAT. ओके, सो इसमें कुछ 12-13-14% का कुछ आर्बिट्राज है. सेकंड इज सो दिस कंपनी, इसका जो पोर्टफोलियो है ना, इसमें जो अभी नए सेगमेंट्स आ रहे हैं विच इज ऑल्टरनेटिव्स, विच आर हाइब्रिड, एंड देयर आर सम अदर थिंग्स विच आर वेरी हाई मार्जिन प्रोडक्ट्स, इवन मोर देन दी म्यूचुअल फंड्स, एंड दोस प्रोडक्ट्स आर ग्रोइंग एट ऑलमोस्ट 1.5 to twice times CAGR ऑफ द होल कंपनी इज ग्रोइंग, जहां पे एचडीएफसी का बड़ा लिमिटेड पोर्टफोलियो. सो that segment in terms of profitability, so the profitability growth for ICICI should be, I feel, 1.5 times, 1.3 to 1.5 times than ICICI for next 2 years. And, due to the new products, the revenue growth should be, I feel, 20% plus for FY26, which is absolutely, like 22-23% आ जाएगा साल का. And even 18 to 20% mark for FY27, where HDFC should see somewhat around 15%. So if you just look at another 27 का अगर आप नंबर देखोगे तो HDFC should be at somewhat around 31.5 to 32 times, 31 times के आसपास FY27, and this should be at like 25-26 times. तो आप अगर इसको देखोगे तो विदाउट टेकिंग इन क्वालिटेटिव फैक्ट्स इनटू कंसीडरेशन 20% तो आपका क्लियर कट आर्बिट्राज है. एंड इफ यू जस्ट टुक एट, एंड व्हाट आई फील द थर्ड पॉइंट इज कि Indian AMC companies, given the growth and the positioning at this point we have, are extremely undervalued. I'm saying about all companies. I feel even HDFC AMC is undervalued. So what I feel ki post IPO or in the short to medium term, the whole sector should get re-rated. So this is what I feel. These are the three things which I feel should position ICICI Prudential at the same or a premium over SDFC.
Understood. Thank you, Tanmay. I also feel similar. Again, I don't know what the gains would be, but this is one of those classic stocks which people will say कि हाँ हम अपने next generation के लिए छोड़ के जाने दो. It's a good story. It's a compounding story. एक बार stock चलता रहे. I somehow don't feel that there were some concerns with respect to uh, it not like it's listing negative, etc. I somehow don't feel that is true. I would be applying full force in this issue. I have in fact not applied to anything today with the whole viewpoint of saving money for ICICI. There is a shareholder quota as well. Just want to highlight a couple of things. Shareholder में maximum 15 lots लग सकती है इस बार because वो जो lot size है वो थोड़ा सा issue है. Like it's a small lot size by the way. Like 6 share आएंगे एक stock एक lot में, which is sad, but yeah, it is what it is. Slightly. I wish it was प्राइस इन सच a way कि वो 7 आ जाते, समथिंग लाइक दैट. वो थोड़ा सा 50-60 रुपए और नीचे होता तो दैट वुड हैव बीन हेल्पफुल. But still, I feel this is one of those stocks which I personally don't feel will list in discount. I'll be applying to this issue. We'll see. Tanmay, any pointer on the subscription? Where do you think the subscription can land towards?
Subscription, okay. So, subscription में अगर देखो QIB I expect 2.5 lakh crore to 3 lakh crore के बीच में, which should be second best, but below your LG. Uh, this is what I feel on the QIB side. Uh, Retail application should be, I feel, around 1.4 times in terms of application. बिग एन ऐसे हमने बहुत देखा नहीं है, बट आई एक्सपेक्ट वेरी वेरी हेल्दी सब्सक्रिप्शन कमिंग इन. मतलब जो एस्टिमेट्स में देख रहा हूँ मार्केट में, मुझे लगता है उससे ज्यादा ही आना चाहिए. द एस्टिमेट्स आर 1.1 to 1.2 times retail. I feel this should surpass to 1.4 times. So like I'm considering somewhat around 50 to 55 lakh applications. So this is what on the retail end. बाकी तो यार अच्छा ही लगता है. मतलब subscription should be very strong tomorrow. मतलब undoubtedly it should be strong. And there is always a psychology in our investors कि यार 15% के ऊपर पीएम रहेगा तो लगा देंगे. मेरे को लग रहा है 15 आ जाएगा उससे, मतलब क्लोजिंग से पहले. So if that is a story which is getting played out to subscription, तो उससे what I'm saying उससे भी अच्छा आना चाहिए. So let's hope for the best. But I feel it is one of those opportunities जहाँ पे allotment का chances बड़ा अच्छा है and you can make some very good money. And I even don't see this getting listed at even a single digit percentage. मेरे को डबल ही लगता है. It is low double और mid double और high double वो बाद में देखेंगे. But like even I expect कि ये mid teens में list होना चाहिए in terms of percentage. So I would be surely applying that.
Got it. Thanks, Tanmay. That is with respect to ICICI. I also feel subscription retail should have the best chances. I'll be applying a few retails and a few big HNIs. And shareholder quota भी apply कर सकते हैं. This is one of those rare IPOs जहाँ पे दो application डल सकता है. We'll see. I think shareholder would be firm allotment at 15 lots. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं जाएगा. But let's see how it comes along. And again, this doesn't have a lot of competition as well. So this is one of those issues where I feel current premium should be enough. I don't know where it will list because it's a big issue, but definitely would take my chances. एक और क्वेश्चन है तन्मय आपसे, इसका AUM कितना है? एंड यूजुअली आई रिमेम्बर जब अपन कैनरा रोबेको AMC की बात कर रहे थे, यू हैड मेंशन्ड दैट टिपिकली HDFC वगैरह को 0.16 टाइम्स AUM मिलता है, तो उस वाले पे ये कहाँ बैठता है मेट्रिक पे?
Okay, so if you just look on that metric, it looks कि it is priced at par. But इसका अगर आप sheer equity portfolio देखे to the whole AUM, that is significantly higher. So not significantly, but better over SDFC. But इनका जो है ना यार, आपका कैनरा रोबेको का उनकी भी है बहुत सारी स्कीम्स दूसरी, बट वो चलती नहीं है. सो इट इज ऑल्सो मोर ऑफ अ इक्विटी पोर्टफोलियो. बट द सेकंड पार्ट इज की यार छोटी एएमसीज को ना, इफ यू जस्ट लुक एट एनी मोस्ट कंट्रीज ग्लोबली, छोटी एएमसीज को भी वैल्यूएशन मिलता नहीं है. द टॉप 3 को ही पूरा वैल्यूएशन मिलता है. सो लाइक इवन इफ यू गो एनी डेवलप्ड और डेवलपिंग कंट्री,
HDFC के मुकाबले HDFC 0.16 टाइम्स है क्या AUM के?
मेरे को एग्जैक्ट देखना पड़ेगा, मेरे को याद नहीं, वो मैं मीट्रिक पढ़ के नहीं आया हूँ.
समझ गया. हाँ,
हाँ
बिकॉज दैट विल बी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. मेरे को याद है कैनरा पे हम उसको उस लेवल
हाँ,
पे
मैं अभी रात में
देखेंगे.
1-2 बजे बैठूंगा एक्चुअली. और आई वाज ट्रैवलिंग, आई एम स्टिल ट्रैवलिंग. मतलब हम जब हाईवे पे गाड़ी रोकी हुई टू जस्ट कंप्लीट द स्पेस. बहुत हेक्टिक चल रहा है आज.
Okay, but
Uh,
thank you so much, Tanmay. Sachin, were you saying something?
नहीं बस ये है कि ये कैनरा रोबेको एक्सेट्रा तो उनकी डेट स्कीम्स वगैरह हैं तो दे आर जनरली गेटिंग लोअर मल्टीपल्स 22-25 टाइम्स ऑन पीई बेसिस एंड दीस गाइस एचडीएफसी हो गया आईसीआईसी 35-40 टाइम्स मिनिमम.
Got it. I also think कि इसमें डिस्काउंट का तो चांसेस मुझे नहीं दिखता है somehow. Like they will because the anchor book was so strong. FII की भी डिमांड आएगी. So again, I'll be applying. I can be completely wrong. But yeah, that is with respect to tomorrow's issues. We have covered KSH, we have covered Exim Routes, we have covered ICICI. If you haven't heard, we'll post it on YouTube as well. I'll try and do it tonight itself so that people have time because tomorrow is the last date for ICICI as well. Just one request, if you haven't followed Sunday Investing, please go ahead and follow the host. यहीं पे ही पूरे spaces होते हैं, यहीं पे ही हम YouTube videos वगैरह डालते हैं. So आप इस channel को follow कर लीजिए because this is the channel where we do all our spaces through per se. It would be helpful if you can just follow this page as well. But yeah, that is with respect to today. We'll come back next week. Next week, I don't see a lot of IPOs yet, which have been announced. एक दो IPO जो आज announce हो गए थे. I know the kidney hospital, Gujarat Kidney or something is coming. Then on the main board and then on SME, they have a couple of SMEs like Shamdani Industries, etc., along with a couple more. But we anticipate next week also to be slightly light. We'll see how it evolves. But yeah, thank you so much with that. And thank you so much everyone for joining. Please do follow the
I
Sunday
want to add
Investing
one
channel.
thing. During the our last space, I was personally extremely bullish on this company called as Nefrogare. को लग रहा था कि क्या चल रहा है now everyone is sending the thank you messages that we applied and now we are expecting a good listing. So only bottom line is that if you just have a good thesis and you just apply everywhere, you don't wait for the don't judge it on the results. Eventually that thing goes on the fundamentals what it has got. So we were bullish when no one wanted to subscribe. It was barely under subscribed. It was fully under subscribed. I would say there was like no subscription. You just see where it has and now where it is looking at to get listed. So that is all, and congratulations for everyone who got allotment.
Yeah, congrats everyone who got allotment. Hope it lists well, yeah. Let's see, but देखते हैं
That
अभी तो.
Datyapalli Publishers is coming in the final week for
अरे बहुत बहुत टाइम बाद यार 3 महीने बाद ना 4 महीना
more than 3 months.
चलो
Yeah, so we'll talk about that as well. I know Sachin, you understand the company well, but yeah, with that
we
we
both understand
end
the
today's
company.
space. With that we'll end today's space. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Have a great day ahead. Bye.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you everyone.